Hello, hello.
Jimmy.
Hello.
1, 2, 3, test.
Spring is in the air at Global Voice Broadcasting. Fresh new shows are hitting the airwaves every day. Shows about all the things that matter to you in your life. Music, fashion, celebs, and more. It's all here, and it's getting better every day. Only at Global Voice Broadcasting.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Into. This is our live interactive talk show where we talk about gay issues. I'm Matt Dempsey, and I will be your psychotherapist for tonight.
And I'm Jimmy Fowley. I'm a comedian, and I have my very own puppet with its own Instagram account. And this is the show Into, and we stream live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and make sure you follow us at Into Talk Show.
Yep, and this is totally interactive. We are doing this show very live, and we're hoping that you all have stayed with us too, because let's just call it out. We're about 20 minutes running late because we're in an hour-long traffic getting here.
Matt, what do you think it was? Like, why do you think it was so bad?
I have no idea what it was.
It was crazy. Like, not even 2 minutes ago, we were sitting in the car looking for parking. And, like, normally we get in, we have our little routine. We'll sit there.
Practice. We ease into
people
it.
Pee. There's checking of hair. And today we just, like,
But also, what a really great practice for us to, like, chill out and just let go of control and just let things happen as they will. We're trying to figure out why this might be happening for us, not to us.
God hates this topic. He does not want us to do body image.
All right, but listen, guys, so we are going to be talking about body image. A couple things. Just want to let you know, we totally want you guys to call in and ask your questions. We want to hear your stories. You can call in at 323-522-5482. Again, that number is 323-522-5482. It should be up on the screen. So please call in because we really want to talk with you, not at you. So yeah. So what are we talking about tonight, Jimmy?
Tonight we're talking about body image.
Yeah.
Which, what do you think about this topic, Matt?
Well, okay, I actually do just want to say a couple words first. I need to call the elephant out in the room because maybe a couple years ago or so, I did a video on body image. And it was great, and a lot of people watched it, and there's a lot of great feedback and comments about it, but a lot of what I heard, too, was how could he possibly know what it's like to have any kind of real body image issues? So
have you ever been overweight or, like, your body been...
No, honestly, I haven't. And so this is what I want to call out for a minute. So I really haven't had any significant body shaming experiences in my life. Like, I was maybe teased a little bit by my brother growing up, or maybe had, just some kind of awkward phases through my life. But to be honest with you, like, I've never been too heavy. I've never been, awkwardly skinny or kind of like unattractive by like society's body standards. You know what I mean? Like, that really hasn't been my experience. So I understand that this is kind of a tricky thing for me specifically to speak on. And like, look, there are some things that I'm able to do, like some things that I can actually take credit for. Like, I do go to the gym and I eat healthy and things like that. But there's also kind of a lot that I really haven't had any say over. Like, I didn't work hard to be 6'2" or to maintain a steady 175 or to have the frame that I was given. Like, this was just kind of just like the genes that were given to me from my mom and my dad.
Yeah, you're like
you know
a
what
victim.
I mean? I'm not saying I'm a victim. I'm just trying to own the fact that this is kind of the like the unearned privilege, right? That I've been given. I didn't work hard for this, and there's advantages that come along with it. In the same way that I was born white, I was born cisgender male, I was born able-bodied. There's a lot of these unearned privileges that I get from those experiences. So I can't really claim any kind of credit for that, and I definitely get a lot of positive attention because of some of those things. That said, I also do know what it's like to grow up gay, and I know what it's like to feel as though that I'm less than other people because of it, and also see that negative image reflected back to me in the mirror. So
Yeah,
like
totally.
so I understand that, and I am in no way trying to say, oh yeah, no, I get the pain and the deep wounds that everybody has experienced out there, because in a lot of ways I have had it easier. You know, I just need to own the fact
Yeah.
that has been my experience. But at the same time too, I think that if we're able to, have people call in and share your stories and share your experiences,
Yeah.
so that way this is what we're trying to do here, is to broaden the conversation. And also, regardless of some of the experiences of like maybe who's had deeper wounds than others, just the fact that we can identify the shared experience and that kind of psychological common thread that runs through all of our stories, and we can identify that wound, then we can also collectively heal together too. So
Yeah.
that's kind of why. So again, I just want to own this stuff, and I can I can see that I'm probably not the best spokesperson to really start this conversation, but I also want to have this conversation, and
no,
so I'm
I
going to
think
throw it
that's
out there
great.
anyway.
Now, I'm curious, like, do you find, because obviously you put out videos and your intention is to get, like you said, bring healing to people and have a conversation, and then I wonder, what is it like? I know we talked about it last time, not reading the comments, but do you get that backlash of like, why should he, and not just with body image, but anything, like, oh, he has it so easy, he's an attractive guy, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And how does that feel, and where do you think that even comes from? People like mad at you, because I see it as like a good intention, like you love helping people, that's like your passion, and that's what you do, and that's what you think about. But some people are mad at you for wanting to help people and for seeming to have so many.
Totally. I just think that it's kind of a few things, and I think that if people are seeing that I might have a very different experience than them, then they might not feel that I can be the best representative to speak on some of these things. And I get that, because we're talking about a lot of really tender, vulnerable things, and so people want to make sure that they're really being heard, or that their experience is really understood, and they might not feel that I can be the one to do that. So I understand when that happens, and I can respect that, and I might not fully understand the experience. But again, kind of bringing it back to a point where we can maybe see ways that we actually relate to each other, and some of the deeper context to it too, especially as gay men, and some of the components that might make us find it a little bit more challenging to see ourselves more positively in an overall sense, and also directly what's reflected back to us in the mirror. So but I think we actually might have nobody on the phone for us right now.
Oh my God!
So we should just keep talking.
By the way, okay, my mic is blocking my face because I don't know how to be on this show.
If you guys call in again, just a reminder, if you guys call in.
Sorry. Guys, I'm thrown. It's my first. I'm thrown. I have to call it out. My first moment being thrown. Every episode, I get thrown several times.
And this was it.
Just
a reminder: if you guys call in, if you hear us speaking on the other end, that means that you're on, and we're going to get to you in a minute.
Oh my God, we have a caller.
Now we have a caller.
Yes.
So hello, who's on the phone with us right now?
Marty from Chicago.
Hey Marty, you might have to turn the volume down on your end, because we're getting a little feedback. We can hear ourselves.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So
I turned it off.
cool. So Marty, you said you're from Cleveland?
Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
Same thing. They start with C's.
So, cool. Well, thanks for calling from Chicago. How you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing great. I was feeling bad because you guys didn't have any callers, so I thought I'd call in.
Thanks,
the
Marty.
Pity call, Marty. You know what? Sometimes we need just a good pity call of someone who's
We appreciate it, and we will take it. So, Marty, did you have a question for us?
Well, I don't have a question, just more like commentary. I noticed that when you were talking about like your experience and that you probably haven't suffered some of the you've been gifted and may not be like the best representative for someone who may not have had that gift of our current standard of beauty, especially in the youth and beauty obsessed gay culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, like I said, this is more just commentary than it is a question, but I do know that, or when I first came out, I was very overweight, and of course, naturally, I worked very hard to dispel that and get in better shape, and it really was remarkable the difference Like if I went to a gay bar or a gay setting, I truly was completely invisible and completely unnoticed by anybody until I started like getting fit, and it really, you know, I mean, on one hand, it really made me feel good about myself, and you know, but at the same time, I just thought it was like so sad, like. I'm still the same person I was before, and now people will say hello to me where, you know, 12 months ago, no one would say hello to me.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Marty, did you feel at all that partly because you were feeling better about your body, you were exuding a confidence? Or do you think it was just purely people were just that shallow?
You know what? Absolutely. I probably felt a little more confident. I will say, though, I mean, I'm not a very confident person to start with. So even if I felt like I looked good, I doubt that I was like the initiator of any conversation.
Yeah.
When you lost weight, did you feel that it became easier for you to maybe feel a little bit more positively about yourself and put yourself out there in ways that you hadn't before?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Well, and you know, even when I was overweight, though, I mean, I was not like obese. So, I mean, I can't say that I would walk into a room and people would be like, oh my God, look at the fat guy. That didn't happen either.
Wow, that really made me laugh. So how big we talking about, Marty? Like 200, 250?
Well, I'm a short guy, so I'm only 5'6". and I was about 190.
Okay.
Marty, what did it feel like it meant to you when, you know, before you had lost the weight, nobody was talking to you, and then eventually people did? What did that feel like it meant?
Well, to be honest, it felt awesome. And the reason it felt awesome is because, I mean, I'd also been closeted up to that point. So I was like, I was meeting people and talking to people that, you know, in a gay setting. And the whole gay culture was kind of like new to me. So it was a very exciting time. And validation. And I made a lot of friends. And it was a wonderful time in my life. But like I said, you know, I mean, I was going out for a good 6 months before I started seeing results from my nutrition and workout plan. And like I said, I really did. I didn't just feel invisible. I really kind of was invisible. I wasn't turning any heads, and people weren't saying hello to me. You know?
Totally. Yeah, you know, and I think that you're bringing up a good point too about validation. And when you started losing weight, that you started noticing people were paying more attention to you. Because look, we're not trying to you know, say that this stuff doesn't happen. Obviously it does. This is a social reality. We live in a youth and beauty obsessed culture. And so a part of that too is our size. And if we're not matching kind of whatever that, you know, ideal physique might be, then people are going to pay less attention to us. That's a real thing that happens, you know, and it's important for us to be able to call that out and to name it. And also to be able to have a sense as individuals of that too, to be able to have a sense of what the meaning is that we're attaching to it, you know, because obviously, like you said, people weren't paying attention to you. And when that's happening, it's really hard for it not to start to color the way that we are viewing ourselves and feeling about ourselves. You know, it can start really stirring up a lot of irrational thinking about our own worth and our value. And especially when we've already been born into a homophobic culture and society that told us that we're less than, to have anything that seemingly might reflect that back to us too, it's really easy for us to start to feel like that's what all that means. So do you feel as though that you've had a more positive perspective of yourself overall when you were able to lose the weight and get more attention? Was that kind of the cure for that?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, definitely.
Have you struggled?
It was also shortly after that I entered therapy, so I had other reasons to start feeling better about myself because I was working on not just my outside, but my inside as well.
There she goes.
What was the most helpful for you about the inside part of that journey for you?
You mean about the weight loss or the therapy?
The therapy itself. What else was really helpful for you to start forming a more positive sense of yourself, aside from just the fact that you were losing the weight?
Self-worth, regardless of outside attention and whether or not regardless of what other people felt about me, I had to learn to like myself.
Okay. And what
you know what I noticed? Sorry, side note. In like dodgeball, for example, it's like it's an activity that involves people playing, this rec sport. And so you're not, like, I noticed that people are not really so much, like, there to check out people. I mean, obviously that's a part of it, everyone's hanging out after
Right.
work, but it's, like, it's really just about the activity. And so you find that, like, you're interacting with people based on all different, like, whether you're attracted to them or not, you're just, like, you're involved in this activity. And so the person who's super hot but, like, maybe, like, terrible at dodgeball might not get as much attention as, like, the overweight guy who's, like, made a game-winning catch. You know what I'm saying? So it's, like, it's interesting how, like, I was so used to going to bars and clubs where it's, like, people just stand around staring at each other, like, barely,
Right.
approaching each other. I don't
Ranking
know.
each other.
Yeah, I just thought of that just now, and I thought that was an interesting
But that the
thing.
context, depending on
Yeah.
what the context is, that it
Yeah.
might be a different experience.
Totally.
Okay. Great. Marty, did you have any other questions for us or any final thoughts before we have to wrap up?
No, not at all. I just want to say I really am so happy with your Into It talk program, and I tune in every week, and I appreciate you guys.
Marty, well, thanks for calling in, and thanks for helping us out as we're just trying to get
I
going.
know. Thank you, Marty. You're so sweet to call us.
I got your back.
All right, Marty, thank you. Appreciate it.
What a nice guy.
Yeah. Why don't we? There actually were a few questions that we had thrown to us on social media. Should we maybe go
Yeah,
to
man,
some
let's
of
check it
those?
out.
Okay, cool. So at Aquila Green shot us a question and said, "Can you discuss?" Oh wait, we have another caller.
Perfect.
Okay, hold on, Aquila Green. We'll get back to you, and let's take that call. Hello, who's there?
So at Aquila Green, can you discuss? Oh, we have another caller.
I think
Okay.
you're.
Hey, caller. I think we can actually hear ourselves in the background. You might have to turn the volume down there so we can hear you a little bit better. Are you there?
Oh yeah, hello. Sorry.
That's okay. What's your name?
My name is Joe.
Hey, Joe. How you doing? Where are you calling from?
I am up in Washington State.
Oh, cool.
Ooh, West
Awesome.
Coast.
Hello. Joe, what
Yeah,
question do you have for us?
Oh well, I was actually first going to say I was sorry. Last week I called and I didn't have a question ready, so I hung up.
Oh, okay. Well,
Joe, obviously this was the moment.
this was it. This was your time. We're
Yeah.
glad you decided to call back. So, what question do you have for us this week?
Yeah, so I was really interested in the body issues idea because I've faced a lot of those myself growing up, and I think they're pretty under control now. But really, I was thinking about how there's not a lot of advice for gay men with body issues, and I think a lot of what we read is either directed just in general about body issues might be towards women or just generally. And I was wondering why or how it might be different when you're attracted to a body that is a man if you're gay, and then you have that own type of body yourself. So
Right.
Oh my
if you
God, that's
start
such
to,
a good
like-
question.
does that make sense?
That
Yes, it
makes
does
sense,
make
and I've never
sense.
even thought about that. It's like for the same reason why it can be so. You know how sometimes women are so rude to each other because there's like that competition vibe, but then with gay men,
Yeah.
it's like we might be competitive with each other, but then we're also like, wait, maybe I want to fuck you. You know what I mean? Like I know that's like, but seriously, like we live in this crazy world where we go to a bar and it's like I can't tell if like is this my competition or am I gonna try to take this person home? you
Totally,
know?
yeah.
So it's like women on crack. It's like so intense, don't you think? I know that's probably incredibly sexist, but whatever.
Well, look, there's actually
Oh,
there's that big part of it that makes sense because it is kind of similar in the sense of women because women growing up in misogynistic culture and gay men growing up in a homophobic culture, there's kind of that similar thing where we can actually feel less positively about ourselves just because of the messages that we're getting from society about what's more valuable and what's not. The difference that you're pointing out, that both of you are pointing out, Joe and Jimmy, is that it's obviously a different thing when you're wanting to like hook up with another guy. So it's like you're becoming competitive with the very person who could be also the object of your affection.
Yeah.
you know, and that can make it that much more of an intense thing and can just amplify our own self-judgment that much more, because now we're having a very direct thing that we're comparing ourselves against in that more intense way. So yeah, so it absolutely can be that much more challenging. And going back to what I was saying earlier too, is growing up in a homophobic culture, we have these irrational beliefs that we learn about ourselves that are really deep-rooted, that we're inadequate, we're deficient, we're less than, just because of who we are at the core. And so it's really easy for us then to project that out onto what it is that we see and have that be the problem, because in that way it gives us a sense that, oh, well, this is something that I can control. I can go to the gym, I can manicure myself in a certain way, I can, you know, starve myself, I can do whatever I need to do to try to manipulate my external appearance, because otherwise I don't know how to get at that feeling that's inside. We don't learn in our society how to actually identify some of these feelings, talk about shame. Like, that's just not a part of what we do. And so again, it's just a way that we can project things out to our external appearance and have that be the thing that we think is going to be the cure for that feeling of inadequacy, when it's totally just, I mean, literally skin deep. It's just the surface. It's not getting at the deeper shame that exists there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that make sense, Joe?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's a lot of good stuff, Matt. Like, it's a lot to kind of take in, because it's like, I'm curious on do you, like, in layman's terms, like, as a person, it's like I have my own judgments on my own body, and then it's like I see someone else, and it's like immediately, it's like you size everything up. It's like,
Jimmy, do you feel comfortable in sharing what those things might be?
about my own body?
Yeah.
Matt Dempsey, way to put me on. I'm going to get you back for that. Because, I have so many questions I want to ask you. I mean, like, for example, like for the web series I did, like, the first season I was in such good shape. Like, I was, like, working out every day, and I, like, had kind of the closest thing to a six-pack I ever had. It was slightly, you know, there was, like, a makeup artist who came in to contour it, I won't lie. But it still looks pretty good. And then the second season, like, I was so stressed, and I was, like, writing all the time and doing these rewrites, and, like, I couldn't get to the gym. But I was like, okay, it's fine. It's kind of funny for the character to be, like, a little bit out of shape, you know, because the whole story is he's, you know, aged out of his career, and he's, like, kind of, like, you know, not on top anymore of his profession. And this guy who I used to work with, who, like, I shared this picture of a bunch of me and the other cast members who were all in great shape, and his comment was, one of these things is not like the other. He's like, you really need to get to the gym.
Wow.
Or, like, you really need to work out. And I was just like, first of all, it was I'm not that close to him. It's someone I worked with at, like, a sales job 4 years ago. And, like, I just respond, because he's in really good shape now. He, like, does, like, all that. What's it called when you do, like, what Huntley does, like, the CrossFit? Like, it's like, he does that stuff now, and he's obsessed with it. And so his body is, like, crazy. But he used to be fat. Is that an okay term to say, or is it overweight? Does it matter? Can you say fat? Is that offensive?
Jimmy, you can say.
No, but I'm just saying, like, what is that, like? I don't know if that's offensive. But he was used to be super fat, and, like, I, like, called him out. I was like, I don't understand. Like, when you were fat, I never, like, made you feel bad about yourself, you know? Right. And he was like, "Oh, it's all love, man." And I'm like, "I don't even know you that well."
Well, it's not. If somebody is making any kind of comment like that, they're immediately just projecting out some of their own fears and their own shame. And if this is somebody who tended to be a bit heavier or overweight at any point of his life, then if he's making a comment about you not achieving some sort of ideal perfection,
it was so himself. And I know, like,
then that's going to be more about him, again,
and, like, psychology 101. Like, I'm no therapist, but, like, it was so clear that, like,
but
he was
also
projecting.
But the other side of that coin too is, if you're finding any stuff getting stirred up for you too, that if he's saying something to you and that triggers something within you, then that is your stuff. And if there's something about that feels like, oh my God, I'm being called out, or oh my God, somebody noticed that I didn't achieve the kind of body ideal that maybe I hope that I would, or that nobody would pay attention to, and he's saying it, then what does that mean negatively about me? Did it feel like he was putting you on blast or calling something out?
It felt like heinous. Like, and there it is, like, for anyone to see, like.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so,
Well, but I think that's the most important part too, is that it feels like, oh shit, like I was hoping nobody was going to notice that, or I was hoping maybe I was
Yeah.
blowing it up out of proportion and nobody
Totally.
really saw it in the same way I did. And it's kind of this thing that happens for us, especially as gay men, where it's like we feel like we've been unmasked. We feel like somebody is seeing the very thing that we never wanted them to
Yeah.
see, which is totally parallel to that experience before we even came out. And it's like,
Totally.
I don't want people to know this, dark, dirty secret that I have.
Yeah.
And so again, it's another way that we project that onto our physical selves. So when somebody's seeing something or they're pointing out something, some kind of flaw or negative thing about our appearance, it can really be a trigger, not
Yeah.
just something that hurts, but actually trigger stuff because of that,
Yeah,
because of
it's
the
so much more
experience of
deep.
growing up gay. Yeah, it's more tied to shame. It means something more than just the specific situation that's happening.
And part of me just wanted to be like an acceptance of where it was at. Like the old me was like I have that obsession of like once I hit this goal, like with my
Yeah.
body, like it's gonna be awesome, and I feel like
Totally.
and the reality is it's like I've been in really great shape, I've been in less good shape, and it's all kind of the same.
Yes.
But also it's like, why do I have this pressure to have this perfect body? It's like all the images you see
Yeah.
of these guys on Instagram with like
Yes.
100,000 followers, and you're like, oh, I
Yeah.
guess that's what I need to be. And also it's like, I'm a nice person and like I'm hilarious. Like, what do I need to do? Like, I also have to have a perfect body. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, it's totally irrational, and the fact that all of us really feel like we need to achieve some level of perfection, because we're not just talking about like, oh yeah, everybody just give up and don't do anything for
Yeah.
yourselves. Of course, we want to make sure that we're taking care of our physical health and well-being and investing into ourselves in other ways too. We want to keep striving for excellence, but when we find ourselves striving for perfection, that is shame-driven.
Yeah.
That's not something where it's a real, authentic investment into ourselves.
That's a good
That's
point.
coming from a fear that we're already not good enough, that we have to keep striving to get to a point where we finally matter.
Yeah,
And when our baseline is set above that, that's only when we're finally going to be
Yeah.
okay and deserve love and belonging, that bar keeps getting raised. We never achieve it.
And I don't know if you guys feel this. It's like I see these guys who are like famous on Instagram, and they have perfect bodies,
Yep.
and they're all like at a barbecue and they're all posing together, and you really wonder like, are they even friends? Like
Yeah.
seriously, like I wonder if like what are their personalities like? And I'm not trying to put anyone on blast, because like I'm sure they're like, for the most part they could be nice and cool, and I know people who are like totally nice and like cool guys
Yeah.
who have great bodies, but
Yep.
like you just wonder like, what do they even talk about?
Well, but that's the thing, is that there can be so much of that can just be about investing into that value set for themselves, and it's not anything that's authentic. That's not anything that actually represents anything about their worth and their value
Yeah.
and their deservingness of love, you know what I mean? But it is something that's a social reality in terms of currency. There's actual currency that gets attached to it.
Yeah.
And so, it's very easy for us when we keep getting rewarded with that to keep investing into
Totally.
it. But the problem with that is when we keep investing into it, then we continue to build our own prison and believe that that's what we have to do in order to be enough. And it's like the quote that I've mentioned to you before, where your body hears everything your mind says. So the more that you keep investing into the things that don't really matter about you, or keep running through a narrative of, oh, I have to make sure that my body looks perfect, and I'm going to Facetune every single thing about my image so that I keep getting all the likes on Instagram or whatever else, then I keep telling myself that who I really am doesn't matter. I need to keep making sure that facade is perfectly pristine in order for me to be okay and for me to connect with other people. And then we never find fulfillment because we're never going to be able to authentically connect with people.
Yeah.
So,
That was great.
oh, thank you. Joey, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay, great. Did we answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. That was great.
You
Oh,
put us
awesome.
in like a
Yeah.
great like stride.
Totally. Yeah, we just like it our
I can't
stride.
believe I
That was
got-
such a great question. Thank you. Thank you for calling.
Okay. Okay, bye.
All right, Joey, take
Bye.
care.
He's like, I'm done. He's like, get the fuck away from me.
We have the best viewers. They're so patient.
They're so great.
I think we have another call too.
Perfect. He's called 9 times.
Hey, hi, caller. Are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Hey, how are you? What's your name?
Good. My name's Derek.
Hey, Derek.
Where are you calling from?
Idaho.
Whoa.
You were our first caller from Idaho.
ever.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Jimmy. I love your show, by the way.
Thank you so
I'm a
much
huge
for
fan
saying
of Jimmy
that.
too.
But my question is, I haven't been able to listen tonight because I'm at work. But
Where do you work?
I don't know if you. I work at nights cleaning buildings.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, cool. Is it fun or do you hate it?
It's okay.
Okay, I'll
Cool.
accept that.
I mean, it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for calling in, even though you couldn't hear the conversation. So, did you have a question for us too?
Yeah, I do.
Cool. What's up?
So, what advice could you give someone who kind of lets their body issues kind of run their life? Like, my problem is I compare myself to a lot of people, like in real life and social media, and I'm not sure. And I know it's a problem, but I don't know what steps I can take
Yeah.
to stop that. Like, it's kind of at that point where it's not even on purpose anymore. It's kind of just always there.
Yep.
It's always happening, kind of.
Totally.
So I don't know, and I've Googled it, but I can't find anything that's like helpful. There's a lot of like body positive stuff online now, but nothing that actually kind of helps.
That's a really great question. Do you like?
That is a really good
Matt,
question.
When you have clients, for example, who are struggling with it, because I think that we can talk about it till like the cows come home.
Totally.
But like, what are active steps?
Yeah, I'm going to give you actually 2 solid tips. One is stop following anybody that has that kind of ideal body that you're talking about. Unfollow them.
I did. I have done that.
Perfect. Then you've taken a great first step. Because really, anytime that we're investing into looking at those images, when that keeps flooding, whatever social media it is that we're looking at, it keeps reinforcing to us that that's what matters. So anytime that we can avoid that, it's really psychotherapeutically sound. It's a great approach to take to stop that sense of that being what matters. The other thing is, and this is going to sound super hokey and cheesy, Jimmy, you and I actually talked about it on the video that we made together, which is about affirmations. So it sounds really, really hokey and cheesy.
I'm so embarrassed.
Well, you shouldn't be though. But also, if you can sit down every day and write affirmations down about yourself, where you are literally sitting down and writing out things that you actually really like about yourself, you can write down and focus on the things that you think are like strength of yours in terms of your physical appearance, and also other strengths about yourself too. So you start broadening the scope about what matters about you. When you start sitting down and doing that, then you're very actively and concretely affirming what does matter about you otherwise. So there are these things called I'm going to geek out for a minute. There are these things called neural pathways. And when we're thinking in one particular way, it's kind of exactly what it sounds like. It's just kind of a stream of thinking that just so very quickly and automatically flows in a certain direction. So if we're thinking, I have to have abs in order to be lovable, then that's just what we keep thinking without even having a consciousness about it. When we start sitting down and writing down, like I've got a really great smile, I love my eyes, I love the work that I do, and I connect with like really awesome people, and I've got a great family, whatever it is, when you start writing those things down, you then start focusing less on the scarcity of your life and more on the abundance of your life. And so you start reaffirming more positive thinking for yourself in very neurologically measurable ways, that these are real things that actually happen. So affirmations, gratitude, anything that really helps support more abundance consciousness is going to be the thing that will inevitably help you start feeling more positively about yourself too. But it takes that practice to be able to do it.
Yeah. You started to say something. You were saying at one point after we were talking about unfollowing. Do you remember what you were going to say?
Oh yeah. So at one point, like I kind of started feeling like Danny Carter, like Jimmy's character on his show, where he just like he's about to turn 30 and he feels less desirable. So I kind of took at one point I just decided to quit social media altogether for a year.
How was that?
Because I've kind of had it helped me a lot in kind of having establishing more of my personal relationships rather than my online relationships.
But now you're back.
Things were really good. Yeah, and now I'm back. And I haven't fallen back into following people or adding people that are unnecessary. I kind of just follow just people that I actually know now,
Yeah, totally.
and like the random like meme accounts and stuff. But,
Yeah, the memes, they save us. You know what I mean?
But,
But I feel that because I'll get these like
It's good humor.
I'll be following these people as well, and I'm like, I actually am feeling bad, you know, and it's
Yeah.
like, you know, fear, and then also like fear of missing out, you know, like when you feel like the other day I was telling Matt I was like so depressed. I was lying in my bed watching videos of like trans women coming out and like writing comments like, your story's so courageous, Nicole, like literally just like full on just like feeling sad, and then you see like a picture of these hot guys hanging out and it's like, oh my god, it just feels like it kicks you, you know, and you're like, well, why don't I have that? And but you said something about social media, like don't compare other people's highlight reel.
yeah, I
their
actually
best moments.
relate to that.
Totally,
You say that quote a lot, and I really relate to it a lot.
Yeah.
Because that's also a problem. I tend to relate my life to like people, what they put on Facebook or whatever. Like, because some people put, you know, where they go all the time, and
Yeah.
you know, they're just
Absolutely.
boring. Especially some of the people that you know in real life.
Well,
That
and
helps
also
that.
totally, and also very specifically how people look. All of that is really manipulated and curated,
Yeah.
and the image that somebody's putting up there. So what you're seeing is not actually what you really get. I
Yeah.
don't know about you, Jimmy, but like I've met some people who look amazing on social media. When I meet them, they're perfectly lovely and they look great. But it's like, oh, you really know your angles and your lighting and
Yeah.
your face tuning.
Who
You
specifically?
know? There is no way.
Oh, come
you're
on,
never gonna get
Matt.
that from me. No way. No, because we are
Wouldn't
gonna
that be
uplift.
so funny?
No, it would not.
If Matt put someone on blast, like it would be
Definitely
so
not.
off-brand. Whoa! Speaking of look,
That's great.
I look crazy right now.
No,
We were
that
in a
was
car.
really vulnerable of you, Jimmy. I appreciate your courage in taking your hat off right now. That's really
I don't care.
unmasked. Jimmy Fowler.
I mostly wear
unmasked.
wigs.
Derek, did we help you out in answering your question?
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
Okay,
Derek,
cool.
you're awesome. Thank you
Yeah,
so much
thank
for
you for
calling in,
calling.
and good luck with everything. I hope to see you on social media someday. I don't know why. Is that weird to say?
Cool. All right. Well, Jimmy, I think we might be.
Are we out of time?
I think we are wrapping
Are
up.
you
I think we're
kidding
starting
me?
to run out of time. We've got a little bit of time.
Oh,
Is there
there's someone who wanted to say hello.
somebody else who's?
I'm just gonna pull up this thing real quick. This might be a very like emotionally charged topic for him, just so you guys know.
We can talk
Okay,
about
you
Coachella again.
are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Can you see him?
There you go.
Hey Matt,
Hey Tristan, how you doing?
I'm just really PO'd right now.
What's the matter?
Well, have you seen those Dove beauty commercials?
Oh, yeah, I have actually.
What the fuck?
What? How do you feel about those commercials?
I mean, they parade these women around, and it's just like, that's not real beauty.
What doesn't feel like it's real beauty about that, Tristan?
It just, look, I follow all the guys on Instagram. I'm talking underwear models, porn stars,
Mm-hmm.
and let me tell you, that is beauty.
What makes that beauty?
Just the abs, the body, totally someone you want to get with. Can I tell you something?
Yeah, Tristan, what's up?
I sometimes have guys not even into my body. I mean, what the heck?
How does that feel for you when other guys are not into your body?
Well, it pisses me off when when they say I don't look like my picture.
What pisses you off about that?
Well, it's like, this is me. It is.
That's a really great picture of you, Tristan.
I lied. It's actually an underwear model.
So it's a fake picture that you're putting out there that you feel that needs to represent you as opposed to just who you really are.
Well, it gets more conversations. People are really interacting with it on Grindr,
God.
and then they come over and they're like, "That's not you."
Yeah. So I would imagine it would be really hard then to feel the rejection of other people, especially when they, I don't know. It's just,
Oh my God, he's healing.
I feel the healing happening. I can feel the healing happening. Tristan's really opening up
He's
and sharing
opening
some
up.
vulnerable stuff. I feel like we're making really good progress.
I just love the idea that
That
anyone.
picture.
I know, wasn't that great? I have to give a shout out. That's actually Pablo Hernandez, who's a very lovely person and a very hot guy.
All right. Well, thank you, Pablo, and thank you, Jimmy and Tristan. But we
You're
are all
welcome.
out of time for our show, so definitely be sure to come back next Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific, where we're going to talk about
Dating, my favorite topic.
Dating.
I'm gonna have so many good stories for you guys. I was recently put in the friend zone.
Well,
So
we're
I'll
going to
save
talk about
yeah.
that next week.
Matt's like gets so worried. He's like, please don't tell that story right now.
Let's wrap it up. That's why we got this outro, Jimmy.
I'm just giving them something to look forward to because it's the holiday weekend.
That's right.
So
So,
it's kind of like
and
a-
we still are going to be here next Monday. So check us out, especially if you have extra time to sleep in. Then it means you can stay up a little bit later and listen
And
to
call
us.
in.
Yes. So, and also definitely be sure to follow us at Into Talk Show and tweet and comment your questions. And always remember that today is a chance to uplift someone else so we can all rise together.
Because if you don't, you're absolute trash. I love our music.